You've never been that much together with your family. How was it for them?
My kids were so happy. It was like a party, like crazy.
I personally imagine you must be the coolest dad of all time.
Can we have an old dad? Can you not be a little bit fat and bald? Like, why you have to be like this?
No.
My girlfriend, she just looks at a dessert and she gets fat, you know?
Yeah, we know that.
You know about this? Yeah, I know, you know, life is unfair.
We're afraid of being like under pressure that someone else could replace you, but I mean, you're David Guetta.
If you take a year off, you don't come back and stuff like this. No, but it's true.
Hi Leute und willkommen bei einer neuen Folge Raw und Uncut.
Heute mal wieder im Doppelpark aus Berlin und das für einen ganz besonderen Gast.
Ich muss sagen, wir freuen uns wirklich sehr, denn es ist tatsächlich der erste internationale Gast seit Corona, den wir heute treffen. Und es ist tatsächlich nicht nur irgendwer, sondern der krasseste DJ ever.
Wollen wir den Namen schon aussprechen?
Wir wollen.
Jessica sagt.
David Guetta.
Der Godfather of EDM ist hier und nimmt sich Zeit für uns. Wir freuen uns sehr und wünschen euch natürlich ganz viel Spaß. Leute, es ist soweit. David Guetta is in the house. It is a pleasure to have you here today.
Pleasure to be here.
With distance, but at least we can see each other.
Yes, I don't see anyone anymore, so this is already like a happy interaction with human beings.
Yeah, it really is. So how would you say did COVID-19 changed your life as a DJ? I mean, you're always traveling.
Completely a different lifestyle. I'm always traveling, I'm always partying, I'm always with like thousands of people. And honestly, I've been like really staying home. Like I really respected everything very, very seriously. And I kind of took the opportunity also to, you know, do things that I usually don't have time to do. I took care more of my kids. I've been making so much music. That was the other thing, you know, like having the time to make music the way I was doing when I was a teenager, not like, ooh, I have to finish a record for this artist at this time, you know.
So
just,
without pressure.
Yeah, just having fun. And this was absolutely amazing.
But besides being creative, what does your daily life look like at the moment?
It's been 20 years on the road, you know, and it's a very competitive activity, DJs. So it was a little bit of a dream to take a year off for a long time. But I can't take a year off because if I take a year off, you know, then somebody else is gonna take my spot and stuff like this. No, but it's true. It's like, no, but you see huge artists, they go away, they disappear, they never come back because people forget. So it was a way that everyone is taking the time off at the same time. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't do anything. And that was my first reaction. And then the reality is that like after like 3 weeks of resting, I was like, okay, I can't, I need to do something, you know? So I started to make more music. I did a few shows, you know, virtual shows. Yeah, I need to find ideas to do what I love to do. And
you found a lot of ideas. I read that you wrote songs for, like, produced songs for, you can use for the next 10 years. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah,
like, have you been that creative?
Maybe not 10 years, but I have a lot of music.
So you can really lay back the next years a little bit more, maybe?
Nah, of course. I just found a new idea yesterday, and I'm like, this is so exciting. I want to make a full album like this. So, no, I'm in a moment that I have a lot of, you know, creative ideas, like really a lot. It's because when you don't have time, you know, always running from one plane to a show, from the show to an interview. So at the end, I never have time to really think, whereas now I have so much time to think. It's like also having more of a routine, you know. So like I wake up, you know, I play the piano, then I do my little gym, then, you know, I have lunch, and then I make music. It's like, I never ever had a life like this.
Yeah.
Never.
That's crazy.
I'm very lucky, you know, because I have enough money on the side that I don't need to worry what am I gonna do next month, you know? So I am definitely, you know, in a very lucky place compared to a lot of my friends, because our industry is in great pain in the moment, you know, because a lot of DJs, like every other people, they live, you know, paycheck per paycheck, and that's really hard because we don't know when it's going to open again.
So you have very good luck that you can work, and you just released a new song with Zia. And we really have to ask this because she's like one of the most mysterious artists we have in our time, and you work with her a couple of times now. Could you please tell us something about her? Share maybe a moment you had with her, a little anecdote, a story. Do you have something?
Well, the craziest story is probably the way we started to work together, because when we worked for the first time was to write Titanium. And this time I was supposed to work as a producer and her as a songwriter. So we were not supposed to be artists on the record. And I was like completely crazy about the record. I'm like, okay, first, you know, I don't want to give it away to the artist. I want to keep it for myself because it's too good. And second, no one is going to be able to sing the way you sing. And imagine this time she said, no, I don't want to be an artist anymore. I'm finished with this life. So this is 10 years ago, huh? And I just want to write songs and stay home and have a relaxed life. You know, I hate being on the road all the time. So I'm like, please, I'm begging you, please stay on the record, stay on the record. And she's like, okay, but this would be my last record.
So you convinced her to stay, so we can thank you that we have still seen
Oh,
her.
100%.
Oh my God.
100%. That's, you wanted a story? That's like a crazy story.
And it's true. Big story, crazy.
And it's true, yes.
I have to ask, an interesting fact you just mentioned is that you, when you were thinking about taking a year off, like before COVID happened, you were afraid of being like under pressure that someone else could replace you. But I mean, you're David Guetta. You're the most famous DJ on earth.
I promise you, it doesn't matter who you are. It sounds crazy. And the first time I had this conversation was with will.i.am. We did I Got a Feeling. Mm-hmm. I told him, like, look, we had the biggest hit in the last 10 years probably. And I'm so tired. I've been touring for 10 years at that time. Do you think what about taking a year off? It's like, David, you take a year off when you decide to retire. Because if you take a year off, you don't come back. And we started to speak about, you know, artists that are disappearing, and it's true. It sounds so crazy, but there are a few exceptions. But when you go away from that crazy life, it's hard to come back.
You actually had to go on a break. Now you were forced to go to a break. How was the situation at home? How can we imagine? You said you've never been that much together with your family. How was it for them?
Well, it was something really nice because my work was always a priority in my life. So, you know, my kids, they're always going to Vegas when I play in Vegas, going to Ibiza when I play in Ibiza. You know, going to Dubai because I spend a lot of time there. And this time, I said, look, you always make the efforts. This time I want to go into your world. So they have this place where they go in France with all their friends, you know. So I went there to their place with like 10, 12, 15 sometimes teenagers, yeah, partying like crazy. It was so much fun. So yeah, I think that's the part that I enjoyed the most is to be able to be closer to them, you know.
I personally imagine you must be the coolest dad of all time.
Yeah, because when we were teenagers, we were always like, oh my God, my dad, he's so embarrassing. Yeah. They are so annoying.
It won't happen to you.
Yeah, do your kids have moments like this too?
It's funny because like when you're a teenager, you need to feel like this about your parents, right? It's true. What's funny with my kids is that they want me to get old. You know, like I published this picture on Instagram when, you know, I go to the gym. So I was really fit on the picture. And they're like, oh my God, can we have
My dad is cooler than me.
No, can we have an old dad? Can you not be a little bit fat and bald? Like, why you have to be like this? Like all the other dads, they look like dads. We want a dad that look like a dad. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Isn't this crazy?
It is crazy because
Like
actually they have that dad bod, and that was actually also my next question.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're over 50, yeah, and you're in the, I would say, shape of your life. How do you do that? What do you do? Is it just gym, or is it, do you do something else?
Especially during COVID.
Yeah.
I don't even train that hard. I train, but I know people that they train way more than me, and I think good genetics. So you know.
Very good ones, I would say.
So when I was a kid, I was very skinny, you know. So I was feeling bad about my body. It's funny because my son feels the same, but I'm telling him, like, look, trust me, you're gonna be happy when you get older, because then you become a little stronger, you know, but you don't get fat. And that's what happens. I just don't get fat. You know, for me to get fat, I don't even know what I would have to do. You know, it's just my genetics. And I know some people are like, you know, my girlfriend, she just looks at a dessert and she gets fat, you know?
Yeah, we know that.
You know about this? Yes. Yeah, I know, you know, life is unfair.
Yeah, I know.
Because I don't know.
You eat and we get that. We
I'm
gain
telling you, like, I don't know anyone that eats as much as me.
But are there moments you said, okay, your kids are like, when do you get old? Do you have some moments where you feel old, or are you still a young guy?
No, I never felt old until last week.
Oh no, what
happened? I had a conversation with them, and really, I was like, that's it, I'm old. It was crazy. It was like they were speaking Chinese to me. They started to speak about all those people on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I was like, wow.
Already we feel old about that sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
But
like,
you are on TikTok.
I'm not really in the culture like the way they are. Like, they telling me all about all those superstars, about all those, you know, those girls. But don't you know that this record is a hit because of her, because she did it. I know nothing about this. You know, the fact that I make dance music, I never can feel old, because the people in front of me, they're always the same age.
Yeah.
So when I was 17, they were 22. When I was 30, they were 22. And when I'm 50, they're still 22. So I always felt like I'm 22, you know, because you feel the way people are around you. But now that I have teenagers, I definitely realize that I might be 22, but I'm not 16. That's for sure.
What can it be?
I like the name of it, at least.
If you like.
I got a little bit paranoid. I would be in trouble. Oh, I'm not gonna tell you.
No. But David, I have to remind you, it's quick and dirty. You have to do a little bit quicker.